Once upon a time, in the golden age of sail, when mighty ships crossed oceans and brave captains chased fortunes across the endless blue, there lived a man named Hendrick van der Decken. He was the finest captain in all of Holland, or so he believed. His ship, the Flying Dutchman, was a magnificent vessel with towering masts that seemed to pierce the very heavens, and sails as white as fresh snow. Captain van der Decken was a man of terrible pride. His beard was dark as a storm cloud, his eyes sharp as a hawk's, and his voice could boom across the waves like thunder itself. He wore his arrogance like a captain's coat, and he answered to no one. Not the shipping merchants who hired him, not his weary crew, and certainly not the forces of nature.
I am master of the sea!
He would shout from his quarterdeck, fist raised to the sky.
No storm can best me! No wind can turn me back! I sail where I wish, when I wish, and neither man nor God shall say otherwise!
His crew would exchange worried glances at such blasphemous words, but they dared not speak against their captain. They knew van der Decken's fury was as fierce as any tempest. One fateful spring, van der Decken accepted a commission to carry precious cargo, silks and spices from the East Indies to Amsterdam. The shipping merchants warned him of the season. Merchant Willem.
Captain, please wait another month. The Cape of Good Hope is treacherous this time of year. The storms there are like the wrath of heaven itself. Bah! I've rounded the Cape 100 times. Your storms don't frighten me, old man. I'll have your cargo in Amsterdam before summer, or my name isn't Hendrick van Decken.
And so, against all wisdom and warning, the Flying Dutchman set sail. For weeks, the voyage went smoothly. The ship cut through azure waters like a knife through silk. Van der Decken stood at the helm, chest puffed with pride, certain that he had proven all the doubters wrong. But as they approached the Cape of Good Hope, the sky began to change. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon like an army of shadows. The wind picked up, whistling through the rigging with an eerie, mournful sound. The waves grew taller, their crests topped with angry white foam. Van der Decken's first mate, Peter.
Captain, we must turn back! I've never seen clouds so black or felt such a wind!
Turn back, we press on. I will not be defeated by a little weather. The storm struck with the force of divine fury. Rain lashed the deck like whips. Waves as tall as church steeples crashed over the bow. Lightning split the sky in jagged, blinding forks. The ship groaned and creaked, timbers straining against the overwhelming power of the sea. The crew begged their captain to turn around, to seek shelter, to save their lives. But van der Decken, in his monstrous pride, lashed himself to the wheel and screamed into the howling wind. Captain van der Decken.
I will round this cape if it takes me until doomsday, do you hear me? I swear by all that's holy and unholy, I will not turn back!
At that moment, a bolt of lightning struck the mainmast, and the entire ship was bathed in an otherworldly green light. The wind suddenly stopped. The rain ceased, an unnatural silence fell over the ocean. And then a voice, ancient and terrible, spoke from the very air itself.
You dare mock the powers that govern sea and sky. You dare swear by what is holy while your heart is filled with nothing but pride.
Then so be it, Hendrick van der Decken. You shall have your wish. You shall sail these waters until the end of time itself. A terrible transformation came over the Flying Dutchman. The pristine white sails turned to tattered gray rags. The polished wood became weathered and rotting. And the crew, oh, the poor crew, became pale, ghostly figures, neither fully alive nor completely dead, doomed to serve their captain for all eternity. Van der Decken looked down at his own hands and saw them become translucent, like morning mist. His heart, once so full of fire and pride, turned cold as the deepest ocean trench. He had gotten exactly what he swore for. He would sail until doomsday, never able to make port, never able to rest, never able to die. Years turned to decades, decades turned to centuries. The Flying Dutchman became a legend whispered by sailors in every port, a ghost ship that appeared in storms, glowing with that eerie green light, a warning of doom to any who saw it. Vanderdecken's pride slowly crumbled away, replaced by a deep, aching sorrow. He watched the world change from his cursed deck. Ships evolved from wood to iron to steel. Sails gave way to steam, steam to diesel, diesel to engines he couldn't even name. But still, he sailed on, trapped in his eternal punishment. Captain Vanderdecken, whispering to the wind.
What have I done? What terrible arrogance possessed me? I would give anything, everything, to undo that fateful oath.
The ghostly crew moved about their endless duties in sorrowful silence. First mate Peter, now a spirit himself, sometimes stood beside his captain on quiet nights. Peter.
Do you remember, Captain, what it was like? The smell of fresh bread from the bakery near the docks? The sound of children laughing? The warmth of the sun on our faces? I remember, old friend. I remember it all. And it torments me more than this curse ever could.
One stormy night, or perhaps it was day, for Vanderdecken had long since lost track of time, the ghost ship encountered a small vessel in distress. It was a fishing boat, battered by waves, its crew struggling to stay afloat. Something stirred in Vanderdecken's cold heart. He could sail past. He had sailed past countless ships in his endless voyage. But this time, he felt something he hadn't felt in centuries. Compassion. Captain Vanderdecken.
Peter! All hands! We're going to help them! But Captain, we're cursed. We cannot make contact with the living. It's forbidden. Then let the curse take me twice over! I will not sail past those in need. Not anymore. I've been a monster long enough.
The Flying Dutchman sailed alongside the fishing boat. Vanderdecken called out to the frightened fishermen, his voice somehow carrying over the storm.
Follow in our wake! We'll shield you from the worst of the wind! Stay close and you'll make it through!
The fishermen, terrified at first to see the legendary ghost ship, soon realized it was helping them. For hours, the Flying Dutchman cut through the storm, creating a calm path for the smaller vessel to follow. As dawn broke and the storm finally passed, the fishing boat was safe. Its captain, a weathered old man with kind eyes, looked up at the ghost ship in wonder. Fisherman Captain.
Thank you, mysterious Captain. You saved our lives. Thank you,
Vanderdecken felt something strange, a warmth in his chest, a lightness in his spirit. He looked down at his hands and saw, for just a moment, they seemed less translucent, more solid. Captain Vanderdecken.
You owe me nothing. Just remember that even the proudest man can learn humility. Even the most cursed soul can choose kindness.
As the fishing boat sailed away toward the rising sun, something miraculous began to happen. The green glow that had surrounded the Flying Dutchman for centuries began to fade. The tattered sails started to mend themselves, thread by thread. The rotting wood became smooth and whole again. The same ancient voice that had cursed Vanderdecken now spoke again, but this time with a note of gentle approval.
Hendrick Vanderdecken, you who once placed pride above all else, you have finally learned what it means to be truly human. Your curse is not ended, for oaths sworn have power, but it is transformed. Once every 7 years, you may make port. Once every 7 years, you may walk on land and seek redemption through service to others. And if you can spend those precious days in humble kindness, asking nothing for yourself, then, perhaps, one day you shall find your final rest.
Decken fell to his knees, and for the first time in centuries, he wept. But these were not tears of sorrow. They were tears of gratitude, of hope, of second chances.
I accept this gift with all my heart. I will use every moment wisely. I will serve, I will help, I will be the man I should have been all along. Captain, look.
Decken stood and looked at his crew. They were changing too, becoming more solid, more real. Color was returning to their faces, life was returning to their eyes. And so, the Flying Dutchman sails still, but no longer as a harbinger of doom. Now sailors who spot the ship in storms say it brings good fortune. They say it guides lost vessels to safety. They say that once every 7 years, a kind stranger appears in ports around the world. A bearded man with gentle eyes who helps those in need, asking nothing in return. Some say he's searching for the final act of selfless love that will break his curse completely. Others say he's already found redemption in the service itself, and the sailing has become not a punishment, but a purpose. The truth is known only to the captain and his loyal crew, who have learned the hardest lesson of all, that pride can sink you faster than any storm. But humility, true, honest humility, can keep you afloat even in the deepest, darkest waters. And on quiet nights, when the moon is full and the sea is calm, you might hear a voice carried on the ocean breeze, the voice of a captain who once swore he would answer to no one, singing softly, Captain Decken.
The sea is wide, the sea is deep, but wider still is mercy, though pride may sail on.
For in the end, dear listeners, the greatest treasure is not gold or glory, but the wisdom to know when to change course, the courage to admit when we are wrong, and the grace to spend our days, however many we have, in service of something greater than ourselves, the end.